Hello, I'm so glad you've joined me here today. We're telling stories about Pentecost. Do you see the red in the room? I'm wearing red. Look at the calendar. You see the arrows on the red Sunday. And look over here. Where else do you see red? Oh, there it is under the Holy Family. It's a great day. It's the day of Pentecost. And this is our last story in the series, Knowing Jesus in a New Way. Let's take a minute now to get ready to hear our story. Let's just get quiet inside, get settled in how we sit, ready to listen. In our stories, we found the disciples and other followers of Jesus knew Jesus in a different way when they found the empty tomb. Even though Jesus was gone, they felt his presence in his absence. The disciples on the road to Emmaus knew Jesus in the breaking of the bread at supper that Easter Eve. Thomas knew Jesus even in his doubts. The disciples knew Jesus early in the morning as they came in from a dark night of fishing. The disciples knew Jesus in telling others about Jesus. They knew Jesus in helping others to know Jesus. And the disciples knew Jesus in waiting. It's so hard to wait, especially when you've been told something is coming. But today is Pentecost. And Pentecost, the time has finally come. On Pentecost, or Shabbat, as it's known in Hebrew, the people gathered in Jerusalem. They gathered to celebrate the festival that talked about the time between the people coming out of Egypt, being led by Moses, and the time when Moses received the 10 Commandments from God. They were all busy in the streets with this festival. But the disciples of Jesus were in a room waiting. Some say that room was the same one that Jesus had shared the Last Supper with them. And now, as they prayed and talked quietly, there came a huge gust of wind that filled the whole building, and tiny bits of flames seemed to dance about their heads, and their tongues seemed to be on fire. The Holy Spirit had finally come, and they were filled with great joy, and they ran out into the streets, and they told others what had happened. Now, the people in the streets thought they were crazy. They thought they had drunk too much wine. But you know, they understood what they were saying, even if they spoke a different language. And out of this chaos, Peter rose calm and confident in a way the disciples had never seen him before. And he told the crowds, "These people are not drunk. What you are seeing is what the prophet Joel told us would come. God would send God's Spirit down on us, and our sons and daughters would prophesy, our young would see visions, and our old would dream dreams. This has happened today." Some listened but then walked on to carry on the old traditions and to live a good life. Others, though, stopped and listened more, and they were baptized. The love that the disciples had felt from Jesus, they now felt within, and they could go and give it away to heal the world and to make it new again. And this is why the color of Pentecost is red. Red is the color of flames. It's also the color of great joy. Somewhere, the dove that descended when Jesus was baptized is smiling, because this was like a baptism, but it was not a baptism with water. It was a baptism with fire. Now, I wonder what part of the story you liked the best. What was your favorite part? I wonder if it made you think of other stories. Or maybe there's something, even an object or a picture or something in your house that it made you think of. Think about that. And think about this room. This room we haven't been able to be in. What do you remember in this room that might be something that helps you with this story, or something that this story brings to mind? You know, when I look around this room, I think about this. Remember, we had this story at the beginning of the year. This is the story about the church year. And remember, we have 3 great times: Christmas and Easter and Pentecost. And remember how we can't touch Pentecost? Ouch! Because it's hot. It's on fire. 3 great times of the year. Pentecost is the red hot one. So sit back, talk about all this with your family, okay? Tell them what you remember about these other stories. Tell them, think about the ways you've known Jesus in different ways. Have you known him, felt his presence, even in his absence? Have you known him in the breaking of the bread? Have you known him in your doubts? Have you known him early in the morning after a dark night? Have you known him in telling others about him? Have you known him in waiting? Waiting is so hard. And have you known him in the fire of Pentecost? Thank you for being with me. This is our last story in this series. Hopefully we will be back together physically, and we can celebrate all these stories together soon. Thank you. Bye-bye.